The air we breathe is our main source of nourishment and healing. Few of us are aware that it is also our main source of energy, or that we use just 1/4 of the air we inhale. 3/4 is exhaled unused. This fact explains why mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is possible, and has also led to the development of a new healthcare technology with as yet untapped potential, a significant move away from quantity towards quality.
The air around us consists mostly of nitrogen, which accounts for around 78 to 80%. About 21% is made up of oxygen. We use just 1/4 of this 21% every time we inhale, meaning that 3/4 is exhaled again unused.
This potential remains underutilized, particularly in the fight against stress, poor exercise, unhealthy diet, and many illnesses. As we age, our bodies take longer to regenerate and do not perform as well as they once did. Environmental factors also have an impact on health. Yet, we also know that the greatest regeneration potential is there to be found in the healthy air in our forests, mountains, and coasts. This is why we have tried to gain a better understanding of nature, to comprehend those natural laws which have not yet been fully explored, and to make these work for the benefit of our health. AIRNERGY technology mimics nature by introducing its benefits into our home and work environment through the air we breathe.
The principle of energy technology is drawn, as it were, from nature, and nowhere can this be seen more clearly and simply than within plant cells, where the green pigment in the leaves, the chlorophyll, becomes highly reactive in sunlight. Once activated, the chlorophyll then brings oxygen into a highly reactive state.
It is clear that more and more people are placing their trust in AIRNERGY technology. Here at Natural Energy Solutions AG, new stories regarding biotechnology are being written every day. AIRNERGY helps restore and maintain health. There are 2 levels of devices available for professional or private use. Through their positive action, these devices help increase the body's ability to regenerate as well as improve performance and the powers of concentration. Yet the technology uses no additional resources and does nothing more than copy nature itself. Both the company as a whole and its products are accredited to the highest international standards governing the field of medical equipment. The MedCert certification process clearly demonstrates our commitment to quality and thorough documentation. We have our own proven production facilities to meet these exacting standards. None of our AIRNERGY devices are manufactured in low-wage third-world countries abroad. Instead, we prefer our work to be carried out in Germany and subject to stringent controls. We employ over 100 staff for the production of these high-quality devices, which are sold and shipped to more than 70 countries worldwide. Our staff are working for your health with the backing of renowned experts.
I could see that energy was a process which prepared oxygen in a different way.
That included patients who found it easier to fall asleep and sleep right through the night.
It's true that sometimes when a patient falls ill in emergencies, oxygen therapy makes good sense. But energy is totally different. Energy allows better use of oxygen, which can be applied to completely different disciplines, so there's no real comparison. Many people try taking anything they can get, like doping or whatever. But this is actually natural doping. The theory behind energy is that better use can be made of inhaled air in the body, and that the body then produces more energy itself, something I only realized after trying out the device myself a number of times.
And why would the average person behave any differently to the experts? Most people only see the advantages by trying it out for themselves. For AIRNERGY founder and director Guido Birter, this is nothing new.
Initially, nearly everyone we come across is skeptical because we're working with respiratory air. Whether they're leading scientists or doctors, naturopaths or athletes, they all think in the beginning that we're a bunch of quacks. Yet our findings prove otherwise, for there are now whole teams of scientists carrying out research and studies simply because the results achieved in some disciplines have made them sit up and take notice. But we also work in the area of veterinary medicine and with plants, and have achieved some excellent results there too. And obviously there's no question of any placebo effect in either plants or animals.
Even though only a few people may be aware of the significance of respiratory air, its efficacy has been scientifically proven for some time. AIRNERGY inventor Jörg Klemm carried out research for 15 years before he finally discovered the key in nature and optimized the process to make it easy for us to use. Today, he is working hard to provide further scientific proof of the success of AIRNERGY technology. This process is every bit as arduous, time-consuming, and expensive as the discovery itself. Yet the remarkable success stories mean he no longer has to work alone. A great many renowned scientists and institutions are supporting him in his quest, including the Harani Clinic in Herne. Patients with sleep problems come from all over Germany to be examined and treated there, in most cases successfully. It is the ideal place, it would seem, to carry out a scientific study of AIRNERGY.
Wir haben dann eine Anwendungsbeobachtung zunächst gemacht.
First of all, we carried out our own observations, not just on our own patients, but also by contacting self-help groups, including groups for sleep disorders, because I have a lot of contacts in that area. And we saw some amazing results. Patients were finding it easier to fall asleep and were able to sleep right through the night. There was even one patient who could suddenly hear again. Her ear, nose, and throat specialist, who saw it firsthand, was totally amazed and couldn't explain it. And we experienced the same with patients with macular degeneration disease as well.
Vollkommen erstaunt, konnte sich das auch so nicht erklären. Oder auch Patienten mit einer Makuladegeneration.
For that particular condition, there has been little prospect of a cure. Many patients suffering from this degenerative eye disorder become resigned to seeing life through a haze. Patients such as Anna-Katharina Linnartz. She had permanently blurred vision until she tried AIRNERGY. She experienced an improvement, and not just in her sight.
With an affliction like this, you just have to learn how to cope. Where there was once a difference between my right eye and my left eye in terms of colors, that's gone now. I can see colors just as well with both eyes. I now drive a Lexus, which is a sporty car, and I drive like a sports car racer. Believe it or not, it's true.
Before AIRNERGY, this would have been unthinkable for her as a patient with age-related problems and macular degeneration. But now, the 84-year-old is back at the wheel of her car, something she takes very seriously.
Aber jetzt!
Come on! I guess I'll just have to get out and give him a push. The macular degeneration has disappeared. As you can see, I'm a totally different person now. It's a miracle. We decided as a family to buy one of these devices, primarily for my parents. And I have to admit that ever since I've been inhaling the oxygen 2 or 3 times a week, I can honestly say I haven't had any migraine attacks.
Ich habe mich überzeugen lassen.
I became a convert after trying out the device at a trade fair. As I was lying there, I suddenly felt as though I could see the ceiling of the exhibition hall more clearly. Then I thought, I must be crazy. But I made up my mind, and before long I'd bought one. After that I went to the doctor and my blood count was really good. He said the blood count couldn't have been any better. I had fewer dizzy spells, and now I don't get dizzy at all. My knees are much better, and my skin has improved.
Im Moment habe ich überhaupt nichts mehr. Mit den Knien ist besser geworden. Meine Haut ist besser geworden.
This explains why respiratory air therapy is also used for a whole range of conditions, particularly those linked to the natural aging process. It can also be used to help combat aging. The Jägerwinkel Clinic in Bad Wiessee has been using this successful therapy since 2001 for people with a range of disorders.
Die Indikationen sind eben in erster Linie die Durchblutungsstörungen, die Gefäße.
The indications primarily relate to circulation problems, vascular diseases which are on the increase, problems with memory and concentration, plus all types of heart complaints, including post-op problems following bypasses and heart transplants. It's clear to see that the recovery period is shorter and that patients feel much better in themselves. And really you need to try it out for yourself. After a long day at work, working non-stop, just try the oxygen for 20 minutes in the evening, and you'll see how good it makes you feel afterwards.
Diese Sauerstoffbehandlung macht, diese 20 Minuten, wie gut man sich dann fühlt.
This experience has made doctors sit up and take notice and become users themselves. Besides the scientific readings which confirm the effectiveness of AIRNERGY time and again, doctors receive only positive feedback from their patients. Unlike previous oxygen therapies, AIRNERGY delivers a long-term effect which continually strengthens the immune system.
Bei AIRNERGY hat mich überzeugt.
I could see that AIRNERGY was a process which prepared oxygen in a different way and is actually able to reduce oxidative stress. There are many studies to prove this, and when I looked into it more closely with some skepticism, I just decided to be guided by my own day-to-day experience. We treated patients with tinnitus, with fatigue problems. We began aiding regeneration in performance athletes and other athletes. And after a relatively short time, we started receiving positive feedback from the patients and from our own investigations of measuring performance before and after. We could see for ourselves that this was clearly a route to success.
I was skeptical too in the beginning. You need to be when a new idea comes along. But the patients were clearly benefiting from it, and so I said we'd work with it, and now I cannot imagine life without it.
That's why more and more doctors are keen on using the natural and gentle method offered by AIRNERGY. Here at the company, we have specially trained medical specialists ready to advise them.
Here in the medicine department at AIRNERGY, we are asked on a daily basis what's so special about AIRNERGY. Of course, there's so much you could say on the subject and so much about the effects of AIRNERGY. I think the most important thing that people should know about AIRNERGY is that it gets things moving. Every day new therapists are signing up, and every day we have more and more satisfied patients who've been waiting for so long for a product like AIRNERGY. AIRNERGY isn't a niche product. It can't be pigeonholed into any one category of therapy. AIRNERGY is important and relevant for any chemist, any doctor, or any therapist treating patients day in, day out. Athletes and scientists have proven that AIRNERGY increases performance and regeneration levels over the long term. Would it not make sense, therefore, to use the technology in sport and fitness training too? Sportbad Hilden is one of the largest and most innovative fitness studios in Germany. Its physiotherapy division, Medisport, offers targeted rehabilitation training following illness and injury. Customers tell us that after a short time, their performance improves. And on the therapeutic side here at Medisport, we've seen rapid improvement in so many different conditions. Let's return to Hennef. In a beautiful setting among green fields and forests is the town's famous and highly regarded sports school.
Ja, die Sportschule Hennef kennt man eigentlich gemeinhin hauptsächlich.
Yes, people will have heard of Hennef Sports School because of the German football team coming here. But people tend to forget that we're first and foremost a national centre of excellence, specialising in boxing and wrestling. At the moment, we have members of the men's national freestyle team training here with us, and they're exactly the kind of athletes we hope to attract to this new technology. We plan to set up various energy filling stations at selected sites and see this as a service to our customers. We're not after commercial success. We simply want to make people aware of this new technology. And of course we'll be delighted if it takes off and becomes more widely used in the future. And if it is well received, we'll definitely put in a lot more energy filling stations around the school complex.
Famous names such as Franz Beckenbauer, Pele, and more recently Lukas Podolski and Bastian Schweinsteiger have all reaffirmed the excellent reputation of Hennef Sports School. But for us to live up to our own high standards, we need more than just famous names. At Saluto, the Sports Science Institute at Jerry Weber World, Dr. Elmar Wienecke looks after top athletes, such as the German handball team. He has scientifically measured the effects of AIRNERGY on sports performance using a clear performance indicator.
Lactate values are a good way of analysing energy supply. Lower lactate values for the same level of activity indicate a more economical use of energy. I tried it myself, and my lactate values were 15% lower.
Lower lactate levels mean the body is working more efficiently. For top athletes, this is extremely important in enabling them to train more intensively and control their performance more effectively. There are side effects, but unlike doping, the effects of AIRNERGY are entirely positive and wholesome.
In terms of the vegetative nervous system, there's what is known as a cardioscan, which is a heart frequency variability. This variability provides a very, very good indicator of stress. And the experience we had, well, actually my father-in-law, who was on holiday with me, he had a headache, and we managed to reduce his stress levels just through this breathing. So really the question is, how does using energy affect the vegetative nervous system? The first experiences we've had were very positive.
Endurance athletes in particular have already experienced this themselves and have come to appreciate the improved performance that AIRNERGY brings. Joey Kelly, for example, the well-known singer and extreme sports fan who has been taking part in endurance events for years, frequently competing in 100-kilometer runs.
I've worked with energy devices for a year and a half now, and it's very effective in extreme and endurance sports, especially in the regeneration phase. It allows you to perform better and take on even greater challenges.
I discovered AIRNERGY after noticing that many of my colleagues were using it. I became interested, used it myself, and liked the positive effect it had on my body. So I decided to stick with it.
One athlete who has been using the technology for some time is Heinrich Popov, medal winner at the Paralympics in Athens. His regular use of AIRNERGY has helped make him one of Germany's genuine medal hopes for the Beijing Games.
It's phenomenal. It helps me and lots of other people too. I've met lots of people who couldn't believe it till they saw it. I'm never ill. I used to always get colds in the winter, but they're gone. And I can train right through the winter now, which is really important. My coach always says, what we sow in the winter, we'll reap in the summer. And that's very important. So I'm really happy I have this product to support me.
For many top athletes, using AIRNERGY in their daily training is as important as the training itself. Balbir Singh, possibly the world's best-known physiotherapist, continues to trust AIRNERGY. He used to look after Formula One driver Michael Schumacher.
Ich war skeptisch und dann habe ich probiert, dann denke ich mal, oh, das ist ja was, huh?
I was skeptical at first. Then I tried it and thought, actually, this might just work. And of course, I wanted other people to experience it too. There are certain things where I believe it's important to experience it for yourself. So I'm sure we can get other people to use this technology. It's so highly developed. And why shouldn't people use it? That's the message which I'm hoping to get across. I've also noticed, if you drink the water after you've finished breathing, that this can give you an extra kick as well.
A once closely guarded tip among those in the know in the fitness and wellness industry is to drink the water after the energy-rich air has flowed through it.
There are so many clinics and studios in the fitness, wellness and beauty sector all offering this. It's so widespread now, and we're particularly proud of our links with the Steigenberger Group and the Burj Al Arab.
Stressed managers or holiday makers can now use AIRNERGY in some of the finest hotels in the world. The technology helps them relax from the stress of their work or after a long journey. But you don't need to fly all the way to Dubai to be able to enjoy energy-rich respiratory air. More and more towns now have respiratory air stations. More than 60 users visit the studio in Bonn every day just for breathing and relaxation. And each day the number of users grows in fitness and sports studios, in wellness and beauty salons, in the workplace and at home. Relaxation begins just as soon as you start using AIRNERGY therapy. After putting on the lightweight breathing mask, the patient sits or lies comfortably and starts breathing in as normal. Breathing in healthy, energy-rich air for 21 minutes. In this way, many people are beginning to take responsibility for their own health for the first time. This trend towards a healthy lifestyle, towards well-being and fitness, is by no means dependent on age. People of all ages and from all walks of life now use our respiratory air stations. These include people suffering from sleep problems or serious and chronic conditions, supremely fit athletes, people with high levels of physical stress, or others who simply wish to slow down the aging process or perhaps improve their general well-being.
Free radicals are one of the main enemies in the fight against aging, and because no radical oxygen is supplied in AIRNERGY therapy, there are fewer free radicals. That has huge benefits for all the organs, for the skin, and for how the brain performs.
For many decades, science has been aware of the damaging effects of free radicals. Some years ago, a study proved the effectiveness of the AIRNERGY method as a means of protection against these aggressive free radicals. Users themselves report significant improvements.
Was ich ganz klar feststellen konnte, ist, dass sich mein Hautbild nachhaltig.
What I've seen clearly is that there's been a lasting change to my skin. It's smoother, firmer, and tighter. And I found in particular that I have fewer of those wrinkles around my neck that women tend to get at my age. I'm much happier with how things are now.
We too are often surprised by the more remarkable success stories in conditions where you would expect little impact.
It began in June last year, when I was diagnosed with MS. I'd had 2 previous episodes in years gone by, in the space of 1 year, in fact. But then I was diagnosed last year and prescribed medication, which I was supposed to inject every day for the rest of my life, something I just couldn't handle. This carried on for 3 or 4 months, and I had terrible problems sleeping. I just couldn't sleep at all. I had flu-like symptoms, fever, and had to give up the job I loved, working as a beautician and podiatrist. I had 1 breathing session at the AIRNERGY company, and I could hardly believe it. I was able to sleep right through the night for the first time in 4 months. I went back the next day, then the whole week, and felt so much better. I had no more problems sleeping after that. Then, after 3 months, I suddenly realized I felt really good. And at that point I thought, I can't just sit around here at home. AIRNERGY is helping me. Why don't I go back to work and set up a business as a beautician and podiatrist? I opened a small podiatry studio where I incorporated the AIRNERGY technology because I'm such a fan. And now I work with 3 devices, which I either use with the podiatry or separately. And I'm really enjoying it because I can see that my customers feel better. And I haven't had any problems for, knock on wood, about a year now.
I must say it was very positive, not just in subjective terms. We were also able to deliver valid scientific data.
When you're in a stressful situation, and an operation is certainly stressful, then this energy-rich air can also help to speed up the healing process. Once the oxidative stress is reduced, the repair mechanisms in the body can be accelerated. I'm a completely different person. My heart problems and rheumatism have disappeared. Time and again, certain therapies with no real effect are adopted by the health insurance companies. Yet with therapies where we can see real benefits, they often hold back. I really do hope they accept this method. A year ago, I looked more frail. 2 years ago, no one could even bear to look at me. It was awful. But that's all changed now.
You can do it while you're watching TV or reading a book or listening to music. It's so easy to use, and the effects are amazing. Yes, the device is very easy to use and can be operated by pressing just 2 buttons. This is particularly important because it means that it can be used in both the clinic and in practices, as well as by individuals at home. The important thing is that you don't have to study pages and pages of operating instructions and can operate the device quite simply. The device runs a self-test as soon as it's switched on and does its own checks, as it were, and then gives the OK that everything is functioning properly. Then, at some point down the line, it tells you that 2,000 user hours are up, which is quite a long time, and requests that the device be checked over for correct function and performance. These are things that are pre-programmed into the device. It simply comes up on the display and helps ensure safe and easy application.
Damit haben wir eine sehr sichere, einfache Anwendung erreichen können.
We plan to offer the technology to the automotive industry, which makes sense because wellness in cars will be a big thing in the future. It also makes good sense in the airline industry to offer this to flight crews and ground staff, because at the end of the day, it helps improve concentration.
Truck drivers and pilots have been placing their trust in this technology for years, yet it also offers the prospect of increased safety for the average motorist and airline passenger too. Jet lag after long-haul flights can be significantly reduced, as can the risk of falling asleep at the wheel. Businessmen like Ansgar Klein know the benefits of AIRNERGY and are keen to pass these on to their staff. Problems caused by long working hours or stress are reduced and the quality of sleep improved. Using the device neither disrupts nor interrupts the working day. Up to 20 staff per shift can receive energy from one filling station. Far less expensive, in fact, than giving each employee a fresh apple every day. The costs are amazingly small compared with the considerable benefits for the company.
Since we've been using it, our staff have been more productive. General well-being has improved, absenteeism due to illness is down, and it quickly became apparent that this was a good investment and one that is supported by all the staff in the firm. When considering the well-being of my staff, I don't just think in terms of bare facts and figures. Improving quality of life, job satisfaction, creativity, being able to sleep better at night, even tackling problems in a different way. That alone is worth the effort. Getting away from symptom-based medicine, which is just firefighting without actually tackling the cause. Moving towards primary preventive care, in the sense of not letting illness occur in the first place. Something which requires individuals to take responsibility for their own health. So I would recommend a plan like this, which combines improved partial oxygen pressure and better bioavailability of oxygen with sensible exercise, sensible diet and a healthy lifestyle. This is the best thing that could happen to our healthcare system. Individuals taking informed decisions to control their own health. We have patients who come to us again and again asking for this oxygen therapy. Initially, everyone thought we were mad, and it was all just a lot of hot air. But now people realize that what we're offering is healthy, energy-rich air. We now have many thousands of users, and from the feedback we receive, over 90% of our customers are satisfied with our AIRNERGY product. My own vision is that we offer people preventive care. This is the smartest thing that any of us can do. Support and promote our health, safe in the knowledge that it'll be there to enjoy for a long time to come.
Simply by using respiratory air and water, the company has advanced preventive care, performance, and regeneration, and exported the benefits worldwide. AIRNERGY, the original. a revolutionary energy source for all and a landmark development in the history of complementary medicine. More important still, a great step forward for countless sufferers who, after abandoning all hope, have now rediscovered through AIRNERGY what they treasure most of all, their health and well-being.
Take a breath of life, come and feel the air. Take a chance for you for a better life. Take a breath of life, come and feel the air. Take a chance for you.